putting that in context for us. Now it's time to go to some of our live viewer questions, and we thank you all for tuning in and submitting these great questions. The first one comes from the user HYFMF from YouTube. The question is, if the jury finds in favor of Amber Heard, can Johnny Depp appeal? How does it work in defamation cases? How does it work in civil cases? Dina Dahl, let me go to you with this one. What's your take?
Yes. She could definitely appeal, and I think that if either one of them loses and is asked to pay damages, they will certainly appeal their case. That really, when you appeal your case, you're asking the Court of Appeals to say that there was a mistake in the law. They're not really looking at the facts so much. Again, that, you know, the jury's already decided the facts, but maybe the judge made a ruling about what evidence should come in or what should come out, or the jury instructions were worded in a way that maybe there's some case law to rebut it. So they asked the Court of Appeals to review those kind of legal issues that may have, in their perspective, gone, you know, not according to case law, and that's why the case should be looked at again.
Okay, Marie, do you agree whoever loses here could appeal?
Absolutely. Appellate review is always a right that a person has. And Dina put it really right on point. There could have been things, rulings, objections that weren't honored that they can come back and complain about. And definitely, I think if either side loses, there will be an appeal.
All right, well, we'll stay tuned for that. Before we even get to that part, though, Sean Kelly on YouTube has the $1 million question, the $50 million question, the $100 million question. Everyone wants to know, do you think we will be getting a verdict today? I mean, Angenette, having been on it from the beginning, everyone says it's like reading a crystal ball. What's your take?
Well, you know, I think that's right. It is like reading a crystal ball, but I think you have to keep in mind this was a 6-week trial. Okay, they heard testimony, they heard audio recordings, they saw text messages, copious text messages. So there's a lot for them to consider, and there's a lot in these jury instructions for them to consider. They have to go through these and read them. You know, there is a such thing as jury nullification, where they just, O.J. Simpson, right? Not guilty after 2 hours,
right,
after a 9-month trial. But but that's a totally different. We could talk for an hour about why that happened, but this is totally different. And for the most part, jurors, I think, take their duty very seriously, and they like to go through everything, and they want to get it right, and they want to be fair. And I think that's probably what's going to happen here. So today would seem quick for a 6-week trial. Maybe tomorrow, who knows? Maybe we could be here all week. We just don't know.
Linda, let me get your quick prediction, just because you watch so many trials alongside with all of us and our viewers. As Angenette said, this is so different from so many trials we cover here. If you had to guess, when do you think there'd be a verdict?
Okay, so having tried 2 defamation cases, it's a little more complicated than your normal jury verdict. Most civil cases come back in a day. I think this afternoon, or at the latest, maybe tomorrow morning, because of the amount of questions that have to be answered in the verdict form.
Okay, well, we'll see who's right. We should really start placing bets. I'm sure there are some people who are placing bets. All right, one more question before we take a quick break. This one's from Twitch, the user SceneStole, and the question is, why wasn't Jennifer Howell a bigger part of this case? She was a best friend of Whitney, Amber's sister, who directly contradicts what she said about the staircase incident, but she barely got a mention in the closing statements. Angenette, got to give that one to you because it's so in the weeds there.
Yeah, so Jennifer Howell, for our viewers who may not be aware, she was somebody who Whitney Enriquez, formerly Whitney Heard, Amber's sister, described as her chosen sister. She testified to that on the stand. And she lived with Jennifer Howell for a time after the staircase incident. And after the staircase incident, she moved out of the penthouses. According to Jennifer Howell's declaration, Whitney did that because she was afraid of Amber and didn't want to live near Amber anymore. And she had told Jennifer Howell, according to this declaration, that she was afraid that Amber Heard was going to kill Johnny Depp. That they were on the stairs that night. Totally, Jennifer Howell totally contradicted Whitney Enriquez's and Amber Heard's testimony. So I don't know if it's because it would be considered hearsay. Maybe Judge Ascarati was like, you know what, we just can't go down this road. It's hearsay, even though she has this declaration. Jennifer Howell has also been kind of vocal on Instagram. She hasn't addressed this directly, but she has put out some stuff on Instagram talking about how you want to be on the side of the truth, and injustice, speaking against injustice and things of that nature. It's our understanding too that she's been treated very poorly because of her willingness to support the Depp team, and that some things have happened. She's been reported to the IRS, it's my understanding, to investigate her nonprofit. Some other things have also happened. So she would have been I think she's a crucial witness, a crucial part of this story, but it may have just been considered to be hearsay, and the judge wasn't going to let her say everything that she had said in the declaration.
Interesting. And it's interesting what you said. The IRS has been contacted. She's facing all kind of backlash. I'm reading and hearing that so many witnesses who testified on the Heard team are seeing all kinds of backlash and threats now, which is really sort of disappointing. But anyway, we have so much more to discuss. We're going to take a quick break. More questions and clips right on the other side. This is Law&Crime.